Hey guys, I want to talk about the toughest time of your life is when your parents kick you out when you reach the age of between 16 and 20. Um, Usually you would probably have a job, probably have some savings, but if you don't, um, they have every right to kick you out, even though the government will say they need their signature. The government will need their signature to support you and stuff. But the hardest time of your life is when your parents kick you out around the age of 16, between 16 and 20, and they just kick you out on the street, and they're allowed to do that. There's no court of law in any world, in any society, where they say you can't kick your kids out at that age. Sometimes you get kicked out at an older age, but the toughest time of your life, when everybody's going to study at university, and the ones that got family support, the ones that got their parents' signature for the government to give them money, and the ones that go and study at university and stuff, or have a job where they can save money. But like I said, no court of law is going to say that your parents can't kick you out on the street at that age, so and make you homeless, and you'll be homeless, you know. So for the young people, get prepared. You know, any young people watching my videos, get prepared, because once you reach adulthood, 18, 19, 20, your parents technically can kick you out, make you homeless. You might be even older than that, so beware. Like, there's no court of law saying that they can't kick you out on the street and that they can't make you homeless. So they have technically every authority and freedom to make you homeless. And some people become homeless at a younger age, some people at an older age, when their parents kick them out. Sometimes the parents don't even kick you out because you're paying half the rent or something. So, or you're much more benefited, you're much more advantaged. You have much more advantages in life if you're not kicked out and homeless on the street. But your parents are in control of that. Your parents have all the power to make you homeless and kick you out, because society doesn't give rights to minors or young people or children. Minors, young people, and children don't really have that much power in society, or voting power or democracy power. Even though many young people are abused, you know, even Paris Hilton recently came out and said she endured child abuse in her boarding school, and she's very passionate about that, and she protests against that. She testified in court against that. But you see, minors and young people really don't have a power or voice, and the authority lies within their parents. The parents can choose whether they're going to become homeless or not, and that's going to be what's going to happen to the majority of people. Not majority of people. I suspect that right now we have a 50%. 50% of parents are supporting their children, not kicking their children out on the street, making them homeless. 50% of parents don't do that, but another 50% do. So they have every authority and right to do that, to kick you out on the street, and when you're broke and have no money and nowhere to go and no place to live. You're going to be lucky if you have some money, but your luck will run out if you're in share houses. You know, if you live in share houses, eventually some crazy ass people are going to live with you, and crazy ass people are going to it's going to be a disaster in share houses. So my suggestion is, from a very young age, make sure you have housing, because that is the number one thing that you have to be aware of. You know, I don't know how many people are actually homeless right now. By looking at them, you can't tell. But I know it happened to me. Even though a loop is a loop is a loop, it might have just been a loophole in the system that I ended up starving and homeless and out on the street, technically. So maybe the majority of people have someone to live with, a friend to live with, an old person to live with, a neighbor, somebody to live with. But yeah, technically in society, in every culture and every world, I guess because animals do it, parents can do it too. Because the animals do it to their young people. So parents have essentially the right to kick you out on the street and make you homeless. If you have a chance in society and you go to work, make some money, Well, when you're a young person, you don't really have that many choices and opportunities and powers. Like I said, the power is not in your hands when you're a young person, because the majority of people with the most money, making the most money, are the older people, the people above the age of 34. The people above the age of 34 are making much more money, outbidding you in the housing market. And also, when you're young, your wages are really low, but your wages will make up for rent if you're sharing a place with someone. My suggestion would be, it's not that easy. Get a place if you have enough money for the bond and stuff. Get a place and share and rent a room out to someone. It'll be good if you can rent a room out to someone you know, or someone that will stay there long term. But the majority of people, I rented a room out when I was young in high school. I was in high school paying rent. All of my savings, all of my money went towards rent, and I rented a room out. But what I noticed is the people that wanted to rent my room, they moved out after 2 or 3 months. They didn't stay paying rent. So you got to find someone that's going to stay long term. The majority of people will move out to go to somewhere closer to work, or closer to study, or closer to their boyfriend or girlfriend. So, like I said, there's a huge 50% of people, young people, are being basically kicked out on the street. They're becoming homeless. And the older you are, the less likely you're going to be homeless. The older you are, the less likely you're going to be homeless. The percentage of homelessness in older people is 1 or 2%. The percentage of homelessness between 24 and 34-year-olds is nearly 15%. So that's a huge margin. That's almost 10 times more than an old person. So this is what I want to say, is I always knew when I was younger I had to just get older. I just had to get older in order to liberate myself from the government, from the government telling me my parents have to sign papers, in order to liberate myself from... but like I said, this is the thing. If you're thrown out, you got to make sure you don't end up pregnant as a young person. That's what you got to focus on, and you got to make sure of that. You know, especially if you don't have a car or anything, because oftentimes I see the people that did study, either they already were rich millionaires, or they had a husband and kids, so they had money coming in to support them finance them through studying, or they had kids and they had enough money from the government, and they had a house and a bed because they had kids at a very young age, and so they had the opportunity to finance themselves through studying. But not many people can finance themselves through studying. So I'm not saying it can't be done. No, it can be done. My brother did it. My brother got a scholarship to law school, and he got through law school. But he had to get a high-paying job in order to do that. You know, and I don't exactly know what happened to him or his finances, but I did support him somehow, a little bit here, a little bit there. But maybe his parents supported him, maybe not. But he was technically homeless because he was in abusive housing with my brother, my older brother. I have 2 brothers, guys. Don't mix them up. A lot of people mix my brothers up. I have an older brother that really is messed up, you know, broken person. A smoker, a drinker, a gambler. You know, he's all the trifecta right there. But the trifecta in costs of living. But you see, the problem is not that he's a smoker, gambler, and alcoholic, you know, because that's hard in and of itself. That destroys your mental health in and of itself. But the other thing is, he's not good at waking up in the morning and motivating himself to go to work. He has an unhealthy brain, an unhealthy mind, and he has no desire to work. He has no ambition or attitude or anything to work, essentially, to find any kind of job. He needs a high-paying job, obviously, because he has those addictions to fund, especially smoking. Smoking costs in Australia as much as rent. So I'm going to go now, guys. I'm going to meet my brother. So I'm in the city. Bye.